The day of Grandpa Joe's will reading was supposed to be the day my family finally saw me as a failure. Instead, it became the first step toward my greatest triumph, though I didn't know it then. To my beloved grandchildren, the lawyer read from behind his mahogany desk. I leave my legacy divided as follows. To Michael, my stock portfolio, valued at approximately $2.4 million. To Diana, my real estate holdings in the city, valued at $3.1 million. And to Emma. My siblings leaned forward, probably wondering what scraps Grandpa had left his youngest grandchild, the one who'd studied environmental science instead of business or law. I leave my farm in western Texas, all 2,000 acres. The room erupted in poorly concealed laughter. Michael didn't even try to hide his smirk. Diana covered her mouth with a manicured hand, shoulders shaking with amusement. The farm, my mother exclaimed. Joe, what were you thinking? The lawyer cleared his throat. There's a letter for Emma. He handed me a sealed envelope, my name written in Grandpa's shaky handwriting. I could feel tears threatening, but I refused to let them fall. Not here. Not in front of them. Well, Emma, Michael said, his voice dripping with false sympathy, at least you can grow organic vegetables or whatever it is environmental scientists do. Diana chimed in, maybe start a commune? That's still a thing, right? I clutched Grandpa's letter and left without a word, their laughter following me out the door. In my car, parked under the hot Texas sun, I finally opened the envelope. Dearest Emma, they're all laughing right now, aren't they? Let them laugh. They see the farm as worthless because they've never understood the true value of land. But you do. You've always seen what others miss. Remember all those summers you spent with me on the farm? While Michael and Diana were at fancy camps or summer internships, you were helping me test soil samples and study weather patterns. You asked questions nobody else thought to ask. The farm isn't just land, Emma. It's possibility, it's future. And you're the only one who has the vision to see what it could become. Look in the old barn. Behind the red tractor, there's a metal door. The key is taped to the back of this letter. What you find there will help you understand. All my love, Grandpa Joe. I touched the small key taped to the letter's back, remembering the countless hours I'd spent with Grandpa on the farm. He taught me everything he knew about the land, but he'd always been secretive about that old barn. The next morning, I drove out to the farm. The house needed work, peeling paint, sagging porch, windows that hadn't been washed in years. But the land itself was beautiful. Rolling hills stretched to the horizon, dotted with mesquite trees and prairie grasses. The barn stood exactly as I remembered it, its red paint faded but still proud against the blue Texas sky. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of old hay and engine oil. The red tractor sat where it always had, a faithful guardian of whatever secret Grandpa had kept behind that metal door. My hands trembled as I fitted the key into the lock. It turned with a satisfying click. The room beyond was smaller than I expected, but what it contained took my breath away. The walls were covered with maps, geological surveys, and scientific reports. A desk held stacks of soil analysis results and groundwater studies. And there in the center of it all was a leather-bound journal. I opened it to find Grandpa's familiar handwriting. March 15, 1982. First tests confirm it. The lithium deposits are extensive, possibly one of the largest in North America. But mining would destroy the land. There has to be a better way. Lithium, the essential component of modern batteries, the key to renewable energy storage, the mineral that tech companies desperately needed. My hands shook as I flipped through more pages. Grandpa had spent decades studying the deposits, conducting secret surveys, monitoring groundwater levels. He'd known exactly what lay beneath his worthless farm. More recent entries caught my eye. 2015. Emma's starting environmental science at UT Austin. She understands what the others never have. That profit without preservation is no profit at all. She'll find a way to do this right. 2019. New extraction methods looking promising. Minimal environmental impact. Emma's research on sustainable mining practices could be the key. The last entry was dated just months before his death. I'm leaving the farm to Emma. The others will laugh. Let them. She's the only one who can balance progress with preservation. The land knows its guardian. I sat there for hours, reading through decades of research, understanding growing in my mind. This wasn't just a farm. This was one of the largest lithium deposits in the country, possibly worth billions. But more than that, it was a chance to prove that resource extraction didn't have to mean environmental destruction. My phone buzzed, a text from Michael. Sold my stocks already. Some tech company called Tesla bought them way above market value. Hope you're enjoying your dirt farm. I looked at the geological surveys again, noting the estimated size of the lithium deposits. Then I pulled up Tesla's latest press release on my phone. Seeking location for new battery manufacturing facility. Requirements: large land area, proximity to lithium deposits. The pieces started falling into place. Grandpa hadn't just left me land. He'd left me an opportunity to change the future of sustainable energy production. But I'd need help. My environmental science degree gave me the background to understand the ecological implications. But I'd need engineers, geologists, lawyers. I'd need capital. I called my old professor from UT Austin, Dr. Sarah Chen. She'd been researching sustainable mining practices for years. Emma, she answered on the first ring. I was just thinking about you. Have you seen the latest data on environmentally friendly lithium extraction? I smiled. Actually, Dr. Chen, I need your expertise on something. How would you like to revolutionize sustainable mining practices? An hour later, I had the beginnings of a plan. Dr. Chen would help assemble a team of experts. Her connections in the sustainable technology sector would be invaluable. As the sun set over the farm, my farm, I stood on the porch where Grandpa and I had spent so many evenings. The land stretched out before me, holding its secrets beneath the surface. Michael and Diana had gotten what they thought was valuable, stocks and buildings that would give them quick profits. But Grandpa had given me something far more precious, a chance to prove that progress and preservation could work together, a chance to show my family and the world that sometimes the things people dismiss as worthless are worth more than they could imagine. My phone buzzed again, another text from Diana. Hey little sis, need help selling that farm? I know a developer who might take it off your hands. You know, for a tiny fraction of what my buildings are worth. I didn't reply. Instead, I started making calls. To environmental lawyers specializing in mineral rights. To sustainable technology firms. To experts in groundwater protection. Let my siblings laugh. Let them think they'd gotten the better deal. Soon enough, they'd understand exactly what Grandpa Joe had known all along. That true value isn't always obvious, and that sometimes the best revenge is simply proving everybody wrong. But first, I had work to do. A lot of work. 6 months after discovering Grandpa's secret, I sat in a sleek conference room in Austin, facing representatives from 3 of the world's largest electric vehicle manufacturers. Dr. Chen sat beside me along with our team of environmental lawyers and sustainable mining experts. The lithium deposits are extensive, our head geologist explained, pointing to detailed survey maps. But what makes this site unique is the extraction method Ms. Harrison has developed. I tried not to smile as I remembered Diana's last text. Still playing farmer, Emma? At least Michael and I are making real money. If they only knew. The Tesla executive leaned forward. You're claiming zero groundwater impact? Not just claiming, Dr. Chen responded. We can prove it. Emma's team has developed a closed-loop extraction system that revolutionizes how we think about lithium mining. 3 years of environmental science research combined with Grandpa's decades of data had led to this breakthrough. We could extract the lithium without destroying the land he'd loved so much. The mining rights alone would be worth billions, the Ford representative mused. But you're proposing something more ambitious. I nodded. We're not selling mining rights. We're establishing a partnership. The land remains under our control, ensuring sustainable practices. You get guaranteed access to lithium for your batteries, processed on-site using clean energy. And the price? The BMW executive raised an eyebrow. I named a figure that made even the lawyers blink, but nobody laughed. They couldn't afford to, not with the electric vehicle revolution depending on reliable lithium supplies. That evening, as I drove back to the farm, my phone rang. It was Michael. Hey sis, he said, trying to sound casual. Heard an interesting rumor today at the country club. Something about Tesla executives visiting your dirt farm. Did you? I kept my voice neutral. Come on, Emma. If something's going on, you need professional help. I know all about corporate negotiations. Like you knew about those Tesla stocks you sold. I couldn't resist. The ones they bought because they knew about my lithium deposits. Silence. I have to go, Michael. I have a meeting with Ford tomorrow. I hung up, smiling as I imagined his face, but I knew this was just the beginning. Once the news broke, my entire family would descend like vultures. I didn't have to wait long. The next morning, Deanna's Porsche kicked up dust as it roared down the farm's dirt road. She emerged in designer heels completely unsuited for ranch life. "Why didn't you tell us?" she demanded without preamble. "Tell you what?" I asked, watching her struggle to keep her balance on the uneven ground. "Don't play dumb. The lithium, the Tesla deal. This land is family property." "No," I cut her off. "It's my property. Grandpa made that very clear. But we're your family. We deserve." "What?" "A share of the worthless farm you've been mocking for months. The land you offered to take off my hands for pennies." She had the grace to look embarrassed. "We didn't know." "No, you didn't. Because you never bothered to look beyond the surface. Just like you never bothered to understand why Grandpa spent so much time out here." A black SUV pulled up, Michael, with our parents in tow. Of course they coordinated this ambush. "Emma," Mom stepped forward, arms outstretched. "Darling, we need to discuss this as a family." "Now it's family," I laughed. "Not when you were all laughing at my inheritance. Not when you dismissed my entire career as playing in the dirt." Dad tried next. "Be reasonable. This is a huge business opportunity. You need experienced people." "I have experienced people," I cut him off. "Dr. Chen, one of the world's leading experts in sustainable mining. A team of environmental lawyers, geologists, engineers, people who share my vision for doing this right." "But we could," Michael started. "Could what?" "Turn this into another quick profit? Destroy the land for maximum gain. That's not happening." I pulled out my phone and played a video, the presentation we'd made for the manufacturers. Advanced extraction systems, solar-powered processing facilities, a blueprint for sustainable lithium production that would revolutionize the industry. They watched in stunned silence. "This is what Grandpa saw," I explained. "Not just the lithium, but the possibility to do something revolutionary. That's why he left the farm to me, because he knew I'd understand." "The profits," Diana whispered, "will be beyond anything you can imagine." I agreed. "But they'll be made the right way, with respect for the land and the future." "And us?" Michael asked quietly. I looked at my family, really looked at them. The siblings who'd dismissed me. The parents who doubted me. Part of me wanted to exclude them completely, to let them live with their mistake. But Grandpa had taught me better than that. "There will be opportunities," I said finally. "Not control, not ownership, but chances to be part of something important. If you're willing to learn a new way of doing things." Over the next year, the farm transformed. Modern buildings rose from the prairie, all solar-powered, all designed to minimize environmental impact. The first lithium shipments proved our extraction method worked exactly as planned. Michael eventually joined our finance team after taking courses in sustainable business practices. Diana's real estate expertise helped us expand intelligently. Even Mom and Dad came around, proudly telling their country club friends about their daughter's innovative approach to resource management. Tesla built their gigafactory adjacent to our processing facility. Other manufacturers followed. The worthless farm became the heart of America's electric vehicle revolution. One evening, I sat on the repaired porch watching the sunset just like I used to do with Grandpa. The land still looked largely unchanged, we'd made sure of that. But beneath the surface, it was helping to change the world. Dr. Chen joined me, carrying 2 glasses of wine. "Your grandfather would be proud," she said, "not just of the success, but of how you achieved it." I touched the worn leather journal I always kept nearby. He knew all along that true value isn't just about money. It's about finding the right person to build the right future. My phone buzzed, a news alert. Our company's stock had hit another record high. Somewhere, Michael and Diana were probably calculating their lost profits, remembering how they'd laughed at my inheritance. But I wasn't thinking about revenge or vindication anymore. I was thinking about legacy, not just Grandpa's legacy to me, but my legacy to the future. A way of working with the land instead of exploiting it. A proof that profit and preservation could coexist. The farm wasn't worthless. It never had been. It just needed someone who could see its true value. Someone who understood that the best things in life often come disguised as disappointments. I picked up Grandpa's journal and added my own entry. The land knows its guardian, you wrote. Now I understand. It's not about ownership or profits. It's about responsibility to the earth, to the future, to the truth that real value isn't always visible to those who are only looking for quick rewards. Thank you for trusting me with your legacy, Grandpa. I promise to keep building it into something even better than you imagined. The sun sank below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks. In the distance, the lights of the processing facility twinkled on, powered by the same sun that had nourished this land for millennia. My worthless inheritance had become a billion-dollar operation, but more importantly, it had become proof that sometimes the best gifts are the ones nobody else wants, because they're waiting for just the right person to reveal their true value.